In Lesson 12, we'll be learning about symbols of inclusion and then working more with order of operations. Now, we've had problems where we had like 3 times a negative 3, and we had that negative 3 inside parentheses, which is like a symbol of inclusion. But what we're talking about here is that there will be an entire operation included inside a set of parentheses or brackets or braces. And just so you know, these are parentheses, these are brackets, and then these are braces. So you'll have a whole operation inside symbols of inclusion. For example, you might have 2 plus 3 inside parentheses, and then a 3 on the outside of that, and then that's surrounded by brackets, and then a plus 4 at the end. So symbols of inclusion, they don't just have one number inside, they'll have one or more operations inside those symbols. So like in Lesson 11, we learned that in problems dealing with multiplication and algebraic addition, we do the multiplication first. There's a specific order that we do the problems in. Likewise, when we have symbols of inclusion, there's an order of operations, and we always do the innermost set of symbols of inclusion or set of parentheses first. We always try to do the innermost set first. So whether the operation is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, it doesn't matter. Whichever operation is inside the innermost set of parentheses, we do that one first. Look at that example that I have right above part 12b. The innermost set of parentheses there has a 2 plus 3. It has an addition operation in there. So we would do that first, though. We would do that addition and get 5 for that, and then we would multiply it by the 3 on the outside. And so we'd have 3 times 5 is 15, and then we would add that to the 4 that's on the outside of both of those sets of parentheses. Let's just go ahead and do some problems now. Let's just simplify this expression in A. And again, let's work these problems vertically. And we will do the operations inside the parentheses first. And so we have 2 minus 5 on that first one, or 2 plus and negative 5, so that would be a negative 3. And then we're going to multiply that by negative 4 and a negative 1, so that would be negative 5. So we have minus 3, and we know that that's times negative 5 because there's no plus or minus sign in between those parentheses. And so that would equal a positive 15 for an answer. Look at practice problem B. We have some multiplication and algebraic addition there, but we do what's inside the parentheses first. We see an operation there inside the parentheses. So do that first. And so we'll just bring the 4 down, and then we'll have minus 6 plus 1 is a negative 5, and then add a negative 3 on the end. And so do the multiplication now. We have multiplication and addition, so now the order goes back to multiplication first, then addition. We're done with all our operations inside of parentheses. So 4 times negative 5, that's negative 20, plus a negative 3 equals negative 23. Look at practice problem C. On this one we have a division problem. We have a fraction here. So the way you do these is you do the numerator and the denominator separate. You simplify both of those one at a time, and then you go back and simplify the fraction that you have as a result. So basically get the numerator down to one number, get the denominator down to one number, then simplify that fraction. Let's do the numerator first, and what I'll do is just rewrite it over here. And you might want to do this just while you're learning, and I know it'll take a little bit longer to do this, but you've got to get your steps down and you've got to figure out the most efficient way for you to do these problems before you try to start taking shortcuts and doing things in your head more. So let's do the numerator, and we see there's an operation in parentheses, and we need to do that first. So we have negative 6 plus 1 times 4. And now we have multiplication to do, so we have negative 6 plus 4 that equals negative 2. So that's our numerator. Let's just go ahead and rewrite it up here. Negative 2. And now let's work on the denominator. Negative 1 plus 4. Now we can do that in our head. That's 3. And then 6 minus 4. That's 2. And so that equals 6. And so our denominator is 6. And so we'll write that over here. And so we have negative 2 over 6. To simplify this, just look at the numerical part. Don't worry about the sign right now. So you just think of 2 over 6. That would be 1 over 3. Then put the negative back in. So negative 1/3 is the answer there. Let's do one more problem. This one is also a fraction. We'll do it the same way that we did in C. We'll work on the numerator first, simplify that to one number, then simplify the denominator to one number, and then reduce that fraction as we need to, or if we need to. So let's work on the numerator. Let's just rewrite that numerator over here to the right. Negative 2. And then let's go ahead and do that operation. 7 minus 3 is 4. Negative 2 times 4. And then minus times minus 5, that would just be positive 5. And so then let's do our multiplication. Negative 8 plus 5, that is equal to negative 3. So our numerator is a negative 3. Now let's work on the denominator. Negative 3 plus a 10 times negative 2, that would give us a negative 20 plus 4. Okay, let's go ahead and add in pairs. Negative 3 and a negative 20 is negative 23. Plus 4 is a negative 19. And so that's our denominator. So we have minus 3 over minus 19. Now we know that when we have like signs like that, that will yield a positive result. We can't reduce this fraction. That's as far as it'll reduce. But it is a positive number though. 3/19. So order of operations, you do the operations inside the parentheses first. Then when you're done with that, do multiplication, then addition. When you have fractions that you're dealing with, simplify the numerator and the denominator separate from each other, then reduce that fraction if you can, and if you need to. Okay, well that's all for lesson 12.